Yes.
All right, I'd like to call this regular meeting of the Hinckley Township Board of Trustees to order on Tuesday, February 7, 2023 at 6:30. Please call the roll.
Spitek.
Here,
Edgeville.
Here.
Here.
we can stand under the flag.
It's over here.
No.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pirouette for everybody.
Keeping us on our toes, Martha.
We're not back here, just so everybody's aware, the screens aren't working, but we have confirmed that the Zoom is working with the recording. So the people out in Zoom land can see us.
Technology. I would like to start with road superintendent this evening. He's got another appointment tonight, so you go ahead, Mike.
First thing I have is request appropriations to purchase a toolbox through TSC at a cost of $549.99. This is for our new pickup that came in. That way we can keep the tools and stuff organized in it.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Second thing I have on my list is request to participate in the Medina County aggregation program for striping for the 2023 bids. The one road we want to put on the list this year is Stony Hill. It's been a few years since that's been paved, and it wouldn't hurt to re-brighten that up. Did you guys get the pricing kind of when I talked to Matt Martin, when I kind of printed out?
Yes.
You did.
About 1,600 a lane mile for center line and edge lines. So
Thank you.
So moved.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
and then the last thing I have is I sent you guys that Boston Road, the agreement from North Royalton. Did you guys kind of get a chance to kind of look over that, to see what your thoughts were? Seeing if you guys want to now send that over to the prosecutor just for his review, so we can get that road moving on a bid list.
I think that's perfect.
As we talked, I said there was a couple of things that she said she was going to backfill once we get that
Yeah,
final document. I'll send it over to him. I don't want to send anything prematurely and then
Yeah.
have them make changes.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, do you have anything else for us?
that's all I have.
Anybody have anything for Mr. Bahari
No,
I do not.
from the public? All right,
You got the
Colors?
road bids covered then?
pardon?
You have the road bids covered then?
I will take care of the road bid. Everybody have the bid tabs for the road bid?
no.
All right. Do you want to see those before we move forward on
Most
that?
definitely.
Did you send them? Did you email?
He did. It came through.
Do you know about when it was sent? When I search bid tab, my last email was June of 22.
I'll print these out for you directly.
You guys should have it. I just resent it.
I just got it.
Got it.
Suffice it to say, Melway came in at the lowest and best. We've dealt with them before. It's my recommendation that we move forward with awarding the contract to them.
They're very easy to work with as well, so I would have to agree with that.
No objection.
Okay, with that, I'll make a motion for a resolution to award the contract for the 2023 Hinckley Township paving projects for the following township roads: Bellis Road from Ridge Road to Hinckley Hills Road and Mattingly Road to the lowest and best bidder, Melway Paving, in the amount of $286,069.90.
Second.
Seconded by Asherle. Augustine,
Yes.
Asherle,
Yes.
Sweattick, yes. All right, how about that? All good? All
Perfect.
right, have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Let these guys get back to work too.
Only some of them. Okay, first thing on my agenda is the swearing in of Michael Shamblin as a probationary patrolman with a start date of February 13th, 2023. Mike, you want to come up, please? See where-
You can come closer and get pictures. Thanks, Mike.
Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Michael Shamblin,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
Constitution of the State of Ohio,
Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and will faithfully discharge my duties
and will faithfully discharge my duties
as an officer for the Police Department
as an officer with the Police Department
of Hinckley Township in Medina County, State of Ohio.
of Hinckley Township, Medina County, State of Ohio.
Very nice to meet you, Mike.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Welcome. Thank you.
You bring other family members with you?
I did.
All right,
My wife and daughter.
nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you.
First birthday they said today.
Oh.
No way. Well, that's memorable. You better never forget your anniversary date now,
I
right?
know, I can't now.
Hey, thank you, guys.
You guys didn't want to stick around?
Yes, thank you
Yeah.
for being here.
All right, next item on my agenda, request approval to replace the police department Wi-Fi through TAC computer at a total cost of $955.23. Our current Wi-Fi system had an end of sale date of 2012 and an end of support date of 2017 and has begun to go in and out of service. I think we've gotten our use out of it.
So moved.
Second.
Seconded by Asherle. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. The next three items are training. I will go down through each one of those and request one motion. Request approval for training for Patrolman Kinney, Patrolman Parente, and Sergeant Singleton to attend Ohio case law update through street cop training on March 16th, 2023 at Lorraine Police Department at a total cost of $597. Request approval for training for Patrolman Parente to attend the complete female cop course through street cop training on December 11th, 2023 in Walton Hills at a total cost of $225. Request approval for training for Patrolman Ghetto to attend pursuit operations course through E-Rock Driving School on May 17th, 2023 in Cuyahoga Falls at a total cost of $295.
So moved.
Second.
Seconded by Asherle. All in favor?
Aye.
So what got?
If it's okay with you, Jack, I would like to jump ahead to my agenda item because it does concern Chief Sentner as well. Chief Sentner and I have spoken about the various scams that have been happening really everywhere, but some of the residents that have been impacted through it within the township, whether it's phone or email scams. And we have residents that have been scammed out of thousands of dollars, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars. And we thought that it might be beneficial to host a public information meeting with Chief Sentner and possibly another law enforcement agency to aid residents in identifying fraud and ways to avoid it.
I think the tentative date we've looked at is Saturday, March 11th, probably around 9 a.m. in the morning. So give us a little time to put things together. It's just a never ending problem, not only for us, but for every law enforcement agency, in the area. The scams they get very, very good at what they're doing. Be it, emails or phone calls. We just took a report a week and a half ago for a resident that lost a considerable sum of money because he believed the Department of Justice had called him. And he went and cleaned out his bank accounts and left it for somebody to pick up. So as much as we put out on Facebook and, we talk to our residents and everyone, all the agencies around us, there's no end to it. And these people will stoop to, no level to steal money from people. So we'll see if we can at least get the word out again.
So it would be available on Zoom for anyone to participate via Zoom, but then it would also be on YouTube so people can share it with family members that maybe can't make it to the meeting or family members that do not live in the township. So any objections
No,
from
I
either
think
of
it's
you?
wonderful for our citizens anytime they can get information that could be useful. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
One rule for the board, I will be out of town from Thursday morning and we'll be back on February 20th. Mike Schroll will be in charge while I'm gone. That's all I've got.
I bet I know where you're going.
It's probably a good guess.
Enjoy.
I'm hoping to.
Is one of those I sign mine? Do I need one?
You do not,
Okay.
but I'll get one to Martha for
That's
her
fine, okay.
files and then if you want one, I'll give you one, but
That's okay.
okay. That's all I've got.
If you'd like to depart, anybody from the public have anything for the chief? Board? Okay.
Thank you for being
Thank you.
open to that meeting.
No, you're welcome. I think it's a good idea. So we'll put it together and
See what happens.
see what happens.
All right. Hopefully less calls
I
for
know.
service.
Safe travels.
Thank you. Have a good
Thank you.
evening.
You too.
I give you my security tips. Don't click on anything. Don't transact anything over the phone. You'll be all good. That was the wisdom from old people.
You should definitely attend that meeting and share that.
I'll jot those down for the chief.
Thank you.
The
Chief,
IRS is not calling you, asking you for gift cards.
Good evening.
That's my contribution.
First is request appropriations not to exceed $925 for two Furno PD mate restraint systems from Boundtree. These are pediatric transport devices that attach to the cot. So in the event we have to transport a pediatric patient, they can be transported safely.
So moved.
Second.
seconded by Augustine, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next is request appropriations not to exceed $1,400 for NOx sensor on squad 37-2 through TPS. This is going back with throwing engine light back to the ongoing emissions problems with the new standards they have on the diesel vehicles.
So moved.
I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt, but where's the $1,400 coming from again, this estimate? Is that the decline job?
I'm sorry, yes, that's the decline job down there, because that's how they threw it, because it went in for it's the decline job, the $1,110. I put $1,400 to cover any shop fees that may pop up. You want me to go less on you want me to go less on that, Martha?
So what's the 477.41?
That was the
Are those the ones I paid?
that's the one you paid today. That's how they send everything in one email.
This is their estimate.
Yep.
Why don't you go the 1110 and you can amend it?
Okay, then I go, okay. Okay, then I like to amend my motion to not to, for $1,110.35 to fix a NOx sensor through TPS.
Second, or so moved as amended.
Second.
Seconded by Augustine, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next is request leave absence for 90 days for Jared Bonnet and Scott Gregg, effective February 1st, 2023. They both got hired in Brunswick City full-time. I'd also like to say thank you to Chief Glonner over there that modified their typical 1 year leave for any work to 90 days to make sure that they can come back in our leave to help with our staffing. So he
Agreed.
was very, very supportive in that, knowing how everybody around us is struggling with staffing issues.
So moved.
Second.
Seconded by Augustine, all in favor.
Aye. And I would like to make a motion to adjourn into executive session to consider the promotion of fire personnel.
Second.
Seconded by Augustine,
Need a roll call?
Augustine,
Yes.
Asherle,
Yes,
Sweattick, yes.
this should only take. a couple of
Enter into
minutes.
executive session at 6:46.
Saturdays. Yep. Yeah. Say that again?
Saturday included in the new pay period?
No, Saturday is the end of the pay period. So you want effective the 19th, okay?
I'd like to make a motion to come out of executive session at 6:57 with a decision made on promotions,
Second,
seconded by Augustine. Augustine,
yes.
Asherle?
Yes.
Yeah, Sweattick, yes.
So we did assessments for 2 lieutenant positions that we had, with former Lieutenant Barrett being moved into the assistant chief spot. We had 2 openings with Lieutenant Landis retiring. I had Chief Anthony Strazo from Brunswick Hills come in to assist, and Chief Jason Kramer from Earhart Fire Department come in, along with myself and Sean, on a tactical assessment where they were given scenarios, and it was a point graded. And then on the interview process, Monique came in for the interview process with myself and Acting Chief Sean Barrett. And then a cumulative score was came out, and out of the 6 candidates, the 2 top candidates I'm recommending for lieutenant are Tom Kolar and Jared Solomon. Their effective date will be the 19th, and moving Sean from acting assistant chief to assistant chief on the 19th as well, with the swearing in on the 21st for all 3 members.
Do I have to make a motion for that now, Martha, or so moved? Or,
Second. Seconded by Sweattick. Want to roll for this? Augustine,
Yes.
Asherle?
yes,
Sweattick, yes.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you. We will have refreshments after the 21st swearing in as well down there. Cake, and I don't know what else Jen and my wife are planning.
Sean said it's not going to be there.
No, it's going to
Correct.
start there. That's where it's going to
Oh,
start.
that's where it's going to start.
That's where it's going
Okay.
to start. Yes.
Well, thank you for all of the time you took creating all of that, and, creating the rating system. I know those were just a couple of long nights, just the ones that I was
Yeah,
involved in.
yes.
So
That tactical assessment was one day, and it was draining after like 7.5 hours or something like that. It
Yeah.
was just a long day.
and thank you to the candidates
Yeah,
also.
they're very
who
strong
stepped
candidates.
up, and
Very strong candidates
it
for
was
sure.
great talking to all of them, getting a different perspective, hearing their thoughts on things. I thought it was really, it's a great process. For me, it was a great process.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate your help.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any blood drives or anything? exciting?
Blood drive is, I think it's the 18th. And then there will be one in March. It'll be at the current fire station, because of all the Buzzard Day activities going on through March. We'll be having it in the training room at the new fire station.
Just so you know, I had conversation with Suzanne and asked that Buzzard Day does not use that Bay
Yeah.
Area until after.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yep. They will also be, the Red Cross, every time we hit 30 pints donated, they donate $10 a pint, raised that day to a charity of our choosing. And we're doing the Tunnel to the Tower Foundation is who we picked.
That's wonderful.
But that's all I have.
Thank you.
Anything else on the board for the chief? From the public? Chief, if you'd like to.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Very good.
Have a good night, guys.
Thank you, Chief.
Thanks, Tess.
Before we move on, I'm gonna make a motion to approve the minutes for the regular trustee meeting of January 17, 2023.
Second. Oh, are you doing it all at once?
I'll do it.
We'll have to do them separately because I wasn't here for that one, so I'm going to abstain.
Okay. Seconded by Asherle, Augustine abstaining, Asherle,
Yes.
Sweattick, yes. Motion to approve the minutes for the trustee emergency meeting of January 24, 2023.
Second.
Seconded by Asherle,
I'll abstain.
Augustine abstains, Asherle,
Yes.
Sweattick, yes. Motion to approve the minutes for the trustee special meeting of January 25, 2023.
Second.
Seconded by Asherle, Augustine,
Yes.
Asherle.
Yes.
Sweattick, yes. Motion to approve the trustee special meeting minutes for January 30, 2023.
Second,
Seconded by Augustine. Augustine,
yes.
Asherle,
Yes.
Sweattick, yes. Okay, moving on, zoning.
All right, got some updates. We had new alternates appointed on January 30th in a special meeting to include first alternate to the zoning commission, Bill Spellman. Second alternate was Mandria. And I apologize to her in advance because I always butcher her name. I think it's Achetto. And we have a second alternate added to the BZA, Robert Romanowski. So I want to just to again thank everyone that applied for those positions. It was really interesting to interview. I think we had 6 or 7 candidates this time. We did oaths of offices out for all zoning positions that were renewed this year, except for one, which is Robert Romanowski. We had Engelman, Calabro, Schrader, and Achetto. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Spellman. We have to get him in here too. And you have the new zoning fee schedule squared away as far as the new zoning resolution and the new zoning map. Everything is online now that Lynn has put them back online. If they are available via our office for $15. If anyone wants a copy, Mr. Pearl's got a beautiful colored copy. He's going to blow up that new map and stick it on his living room wall. And we also have the 4th quarter zoning report. So just a quick recap of zoning for 4th quarter of 2022. We had 6 accessory buildings, 13 brand new business buildings, which is senior housing at a total of $10,727. Our zoning department brought in $15,744 in the 4th quarter. Total fees were $16,444. And for the year, our zoning department brought in $59,302. So that's just a quick recap on that. Shall I continue on, Mr. Chairman?
Please.
All right, I've got cemetery report for you as well, 4th quarter as well as the year end. So 4th quarter, we had 3 lots sold and our total income was $3,730. At the year end for 2022, we made $16,334. There's some more information on the next page if you guys want to look at that in your leisure. And I do have 2 deeds here that I need witnesses to sign. Is there any way I can get 2 witnesses from the audience while the trustees sign the 2 new cemetery deeds? Thank you, Mr. Hoop. Anyone else? Thank you, Cindy. And I'll wait for you to come up to see me sign.
It's normally Jeff and Carl, and we have Cindy.
What's going on?
Pass this down. Suzanne will be so happy that I remembered them.
You're welcome. You should come with a pen in hand. Every time you have you sign.
Carry one behind your ear. Thank you both. Perfect. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay, and if I may continue on, maybe I can finish up and we can skedaddle along. I'd like to make a motion to fund the Citizen of the Year not to exceed $250 for the proper public purpose. Is that correct, Martha?
Second.
Seconded by Asherle. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then just so everyone knows, the Citizen of the Year flyer is on the website and the deadline for nominations is March 22nd. So if you have someone you would like to nominate, please email it to me. You can write me a letter in the mail if you want to get crazy. But we are taking nominations until that time. And I did have an email from Linda from the Hinckley Garden Club, and I apologize, I did not run copies for all of you, but she would like to get some planters similar to the ones that are used at Veterans Memorial Park. I don't know if you recall, we just purchased these in spring of last year before the Memorial Day Parade. And she would like to put 2 of them outside of the main doors here at Town Hall. So if everyone is in agreement, she would like to purchase those as well as some flowers.
How many does she want?
Just 2 of those, and that's going to be roughly $300. And then she would like to leave another $250 for plantings. Just a reminder that the plantings don't just come to Town Hall. They do them at the front of our building, Veterans Memorial Park, as well as the Historical Society. So if everyone's in agreement, I'd like to make a motion to request funds for the Hinckley Garden Club in a not to exceed $550. I know our agenda said 400, but when she went back and looked at the price of the planters, they were higher.
Gonna say-
Where is she, is that something we can buy at Home Depot, or where's she getting them?
She is getting them at Home Depot, and you're right, that's what we did last time. We had the service department pick them up. Do we want to just do a motion? Let's do a motion not to exceed, we'll say $350, and then we'll have the service department grab those planters if everyone's in agreement.
Well, is that for the planters or are those for the flowers?
Planters are roughly $100 a piece.
Okay, so they will be included in with the
You want me to-
amount. We'll
We'll
have
just keep it the
service
same.
department.
Okay, we'll keep the same motion. So we'll go with the original motion not to exceed $550.
Okay.
Second.
Seconded by Asherle. All in favor?
Aye.
And then I sent you all an email about a request for public records procedure. It's just been changing here and there. And I know, Martha, I just got your email today and I haven't opened it fully to look at all of the different documents. I know that we have policy in place, but I'm looking for a procedure. It seems that it's just different every single time. Sometimes we get it by email, sometimes we get it by a memo. And I'm just looking for some continuity. So just wanted to see if the trustees were in agreement on that.
Well, when a request is submitted, it goes to the front office or to Martha, correct?
It just varies. Sometimes it comes in writing. Generally, it comes via email.
But regardless, it goes to one of those 2 entities first for distribution,
Correct.
right? So then when we get it, we look at it and we either fill it, or if you have an objection, it goes to the records administrator, which is the fiscal officer.
The objection can go to the prosecutor's office.
I
We
would
have-
say that
have-
we should have the fiscal officer do that as the records administrator.
This is why we need a procedure in place. It comes to us via memo sometimes. It comes to us via email sometimes. It's changed. Last year, it was the chairman of the board would make all of their records and then so as to not duplicate from the other folks.
May I, because I probably, I want it to be as smooth a process as possible. I want to provide the documentation to the requester. And that's why I sent everybody the policy, because a number of the things that you're discussing, they are laid out in the policy. Now, I asked Suzanne, because I understand your concern. I spoke with Suzanne and I said, please let me know if there's any ways that we can make this process better. Do you feel that you and I have a good process to address the records request, or do you feel that there needs to be changes? She responded that she feels that we have a good operation. We communicate well. Sometimes I will send a memo with a portion, the important part of the records request, because sometimes records request comes to me with additional commentary that often, unless requested, I don't feel is necessary to always share with everyone. If you'd like me to send records request that indicate some comments on individual employees or departments as written with then the record request in there included, you know, we can do that. But as a courtesy, I feel that it's important in those instances to just send what is being requested by the requester. It doesn't matter to me. I don't need to be the records custodian. That can fall to the administrative staff. That's fine. I can be the support to them. I can be fine. Sometimes it is easier to send a hard copy memo on things because I've also had the situation where when I email the request or forward the request, I have certain individuals then who reach out to the requester. Now, we can't have that. We have to have a separation of, you know, we have to have a delineation of that. And past practice has been that this is Suzanne or I. I don't have to be that person. I handled 2 records requests just today in the span of an hour and a half. They come in often. I get them. If I can answer them right away or provide the information, I send it. I copy Suzanne on it. I have her enter it into the log for the auditor. And then when the auditor comes and looks at it, he can see when it came in, how it was fulfilled, the timeline for it. We do have a process.
We
have a
do, but
process
it's
that-
variable. And I think that to your point, you know, for one time I did respond to the requester because Suzanne was out of town and you were out of town. And I was asked that when it was completed, just to send it to the requester. So if that's not part of the procedure, then what is the procedure? Last year, I was told that as the chairman, I would start with all my
No,
records
This was
as a
best
primary.
practice, because I did find that email and I have your response here. I said, because we were having significant records requests because of the comprehensive plan process going on and some other things, there was a lot of records requests, and the 3 of you had a lot of the same emails over and over, and you all did your due diligence and you provided pretty big stacks of materials for Suzanne to forward onto the requester. And my only comment, Suzanne had to send packets and packets and packets from each person that responded. And then the requester had to go through packets and packets and packets of redundant material. And I got this idea from someone else. Actually, they said, you know, what we do is when you have carbon copy people on multiple emails, you make one person the primary. If it's listed carbon copy, then only one. And I threw it out there. It wasn't a policy. It wasn't a procedure. I had it, the memo is potential best practices for public records requests. I also said, be careful when you carbon copy many people on it. If someone doesn't have to have this information, then don't put them on it. You know, and I asked Suzanne today, she carbon copied me on the employment packets for the new zoning personnel. Now, if they respond and there's a request, then I have to send my emails. She has to send her emails. I said, Suzanne, don't copy on this. I know you're gonna do it. And that was the other thing in my best practice. Unless it's necessary to carbon someone on it, then don't. It just adds to the voluminous nature of what Suzanne has to do. You responded, and I don't disagree. You said that would be hard to know, and I have the exact verbiage, but you had a concern about that. And I said,
Because there's a checks and
I
balances
can
system when we get all 3
understand that.
trustees.
So we didn't do that. We didn't. It seemed to be not something that was gonna work. And I'm fine with that. I just threw it out there to see if it might reduce the workload on multiple people. Now, if the board feels they would like it more defined, then what I would suggest is that everything goes through the administrative office. And if any one of us can be a support to Suzanne and Lynn as they process the records request. I don't have to have anything to do with it. So, you know, that's fine by me too. I offer my support to Suzanne, and that's what I do.
I just think it's interesting that we had a motion at the last meeting for records requests. I don't believe that's ever been done before. I don't think it's a good policy to have. I think it's going to change the way records requests are handled in the future.
No,
I don't
that
like-
was a different circumstance.
It was a-
because you reached out to the prosecutor's
did,
office,
which I
unknown
have-
to anyone else.
I have the full ability to do. Every
And
single
that's
person here
fine.
has
And
the full ability to do.
Prosecutor's office laid out the procedure.
And the prosecutor's
board.
office made a determination about the records request that was completely ignored.
I can read you exactly what the prosecutor's office letter said.
I know what the prosecutor's office
said-
said.
But due to the fact, it is due to the fact that one trustee, one individual reached out to him, request for this, it is up to the board to determine how to fill the request, whether to fill the, and I'm paraphrasing here,
But a
but
motion was not needed.
well, the motion obviously was needed because there was a point of contention.
We just needed to make a determination. There was no reason for a motion.
Well, you're having an issue because there was a motion. God forbid there wasn't a motion, because I don't know what your opposition would have been. at
I
that
just
point.
think that it has changed drastically. I've been here for 5 years. I've worked with you on records requests, and it has changed drastically within the past 2 years. I'm just asking for some
It
type
has
of
changed
procedure.
drastically, I think, because a number of the requests have had to do with one or more trustees, and that again puts Suzanne in a delicate situation, and I have tried to remove her from being put in those situations. I am happy to remove myself from that. I don't think Colleen ever participated in any public records requests prior to me. And if I am a hindrance to this process, then I will gladly step away. I will make sure the records are retained, maintained, and accessible.
I'm not saying
And
you're a
that's,
hindrance.
no, I think
I'm
that's
just
where
asking
I would
for a
like to
procedure.
go. So what I would ask the board to do is to assign the role of a records custodian to someone. I have never been assigned that role. And I would like to remove myself as the quote unquote unofficial records custodian while still maintaining my duties to retain, report, and provide an audit trace for public records.
I'm just asking
And
for a
then you guys
procedure.
can obviously write a procedure in conjunction with the new records custodian.
So you do not want to be the records
I
custodian?
am
You
not I am, the department heads fulfill their requests. I am like the unquote unofficial records custodian, primarily to assist Suzanne and to assist the residents in getting their records. I don't have to do that.
I know, I appreciate that you do.
No, I was just gonna say that.
I'm
And
not
that you
looking
don't share all the comments. I'm fine with
for-
that.
I'm not. I'm
So
not
what is
looking
wrong with
for
the
I don't need to hear
procedure?
them all.
But if it's an issue, then I don't want to be spending quite as much time on this topic. I would like to concentrate on my duties that I do need to perform for the township.
I think I posed the question specifically to the board to see if they were open to a procedures policy. I'm never have been anything but grateful for the work that
I'm
you've done. on
not,
the
I'm not
records.
saying you're not. I'm just saying that this has become a little more of a time-consuming topic. And I think I would, I think I do need to probably remove myself.
Does the board, would the board be amenable to me reaching out to fellow townships to see if they have procedures in place for records?
what is the issue with doing it the way that I
It's
suggested?
just different every single time, and there's not one single person that can't approach the prosecutor's office about a request to ask for guidance. We all have equal ability to do that.
And he was very clear in his response that he would not provide guidance unless it came from the board.
He provided guidance.
He did
and asked
not.
the board to make a
He
decision.
commented on it, but he did not provide guidance.
He said it was the board's decision.
He did say it was the board's decision, but he provided guidance. So if the Board of Trustees feels that the procedure is fine the way it is, then we move on. I'm just asking you if you are amenable to me seeing if other townships have a records policy or procedure that we could maybe utilize or look at.
If you want to bring something, I'll look at it.
I'm comfortable with the procedure that we have right now. I mean, Martha doesn't want to do it anymore, which is because I think that you are able to nip some of them, say, here, can I send you this? Is this what you're looking for? So it reduces actually the number that is coming to us.
Well, and it always did work well, but I don't have time for this back and forth. I don't have time for these.
Well, there hasn't been any back and forth.
Well, again, I would respectfully request the board to determine who they would like to fill the role of records custodian. And
I would suggest we move it back to the administrative office where it was then. Any objection to that? None noted. It's back. Thank you, Martha.
Thank you, Martha. All right, and I will look to see if we can.
Well,
find some
are we gonna
procedures.
put Suzanne or Lynn? Because it should be one or the other,
The full.
shouldn't it?
if you read, when you have an opportunity to read our policy, it was approved by the Board of Trustees in 2020. Department heads fulfill their requests to their original departments. Suzanne has fulfilled the zoning request. Where it has become a little more complicated is when the request involves requests made for records for the Board of Trustees. And that is, I guess, what Suzanne would also have to add to her duties along with the zoning public records.
Which should not be problematic. We provide the documents to her, she forwards them.
Just like today.
Yeah.
Suzanne called me, I said, you know what, Suzanne, I think that this is best. We'll do it this way. Everything goes through you. And it works.
We always used to get them through her, so that's fine with me.
Now, while we're on this topic, the one that just came in today for all three of us, no need for all three of us to print up all of the letters of interest and the resumes. So do we want to assign one person to print all of those up and then the rest of us can provide notes?
Well, there's
Or
no reason for us to print up what's already in the office. When I talked to Suzanne, she said she already has those available and she can provide those for the requester.
okay, did she say that in the email?
She said it to me here verbally.
Okay.
Anything else on that topic?
No, thank
Next,
you. I would like to request an update to the interior of Town Hall to include paint and flooring and or cleaning of the flooring. This floor has not been cleaned in probably a decade. And I would like to see the exterior flagpole be sanded and repainted.
we will talk to service.
Thank you. And then, as you know, I've been going back and forth with Medina County Economic Development Corporation about the CRA Housing Council members. We have confirmation that Diane Dermody will continue on in that residential position, but we need one more resident to fill because Mr. Dolans no longer wants to be a part of that committee. I have had couple residents come to me and express kind of questions and curiosity about it. Just with some of the information that's been floating around with regard to the petition. I didn't know if you wanted me to have further conversation or if you wanted to do an interview process. In the past, I think we just have appointed someone that has expressed interest.
How many times do they meet?
Once a year
Once a year.
for about 5 minutes. Remember, Ron?
Is there any direction that you would like me to take on that?
So we would just make a decision at the next meeting with who, like, do you want to send us who it is that's interested?
The one person that said they would fully commit to it is Denise Clegg.
Anybody else?
No, the other ones were more curious about what the position entailed. Which is why I had emailed and asked them if they could offer more guidance on what was necessary.
What it, served on it for a while. You go in, you review the tax abatements that currently exist in the opportunities West 130th corridor. And basically, for the most part, you make sure that they're fulfilling or at least working toward their employment goals that they indicated when they received the abatement. And it's just noted those companies that have exceeded their abatement period and then will begin to pay taxes. So it's a 5 minute, if that, and all the townships, counties, cities are done all on the same day, on the same morning. It's a pretty minimal commitment.
Those two committees separate? Is the CRA separate from the Housing Council?
Well, we're focusing on CRA. There may be other areas in the county that have housing council material, but I've never dealt with the housing council. It's just a CRA location. That might be low to moderate income benefits of certain areas in the county.
And this has not been publicly
It is.
has it been publicly advertised that they're looking
Oh,
for?
I'm sorry, no.
No, but we need to
No,
fill it
it's just
quickly
been
because,
interest and assignment.
I mean, like I said, whatever guidance you want to offer or suggestions you would like to pursue, but that was the one person that I had spoken to that was interested in the position. I know that when I was emailing, I believe it's Annie, they want to fill it sooner rather than later because of hearings coming up.
Mhm.
And I think it's February 27th, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I would be interested in you forwarding the people who have been interested.
Well, that was the person that was interested. Other folks were just asking questions about it.
I think we should post something saying that this is an opportunity, so people who don't know about it are made aware of it.
Is it filling Jim's term
Mhm.
or is it, so how many years are left?
2 years.
2 years.
Mhm.
So it's a 2-year appointment. And then you can determine if you want to change it for the full 5-year term. But Denise would probably be a very good choice. She's familiar with real estate. And
So 2 years is 10 minutes, we're talking.
5 minutes,
Times two. So you tell me.
Yeah. yeah. Where,
I mean, our next meeting is what, the 21st, we can make a decision then, but then it doesn't allow our candidate the time really to,
there's nothing to.
it's only six days from
There's
there.
nothing. And they'll send out a list of the terms of the abatement. And if there's any overwhelming reason to deny. But,
Well, between now and then, if you want to see if there's anyone else interested. Or if you want to just go ahead with the appointment, your choice.
I mean, I think it's good to open it up so people know about these ways that they can serve their community.
So are we going to do an interview process then?
If there's anyone else interested.
I mean, we just don't have a lot of time. It's 20 days away is the meeting.
Well, we could see if anybody's interested. They can submit a letter of interest to the trustees and we can make a decision based on that at our next meeting. What do we think of that? Is that fair?
Sure. So they have to have it here. What's our deadline? Are we going to make a motion to post the position, which is non-paying?
Our next meeting is on the 21st, so like Friday, the 17th. If you're interested.
Okay. And are we going to interview?
I mean, I think if we all just get a letter of interest, we can openly discuss it at the next meeting and make a decision. I would be comfortable with that. I don't know about either of you.
Fair enough.
That's fine. Okay, I will get the language over to Lynn for that. And the last thing on my agenda are some changes that I had made to the 12/20/22 meeting minutes. These are edits that I made literally on my mother's deathbed. I asked them to be read at the last meeting and they were not. So at this time, I'm going to read them into the record. Regarding the appointment of Cindy Egelman, Ms. Augustine, her no vote reflected her concern about the interview process and Trustee Ashel's misadvertising of the open position on Facebook. Regarding zoning alternates, Ms. Augustine stated that she supported one alternate for each board as was previously decided to reduce zoning cost. Under public, Ms. Augustine responded that she did not present her concern well and that the conflict she was referring to was that Trustee Ashel's brother is on the zoning commission and that she wasn't comfortable with conversation between Ms. Ashel and Ms. Long outside the interviews as they did not follow the topic for executive session. And Ms. Ashel thanked Ms. Long for her concerns and proceeded to call Ms. Augustine disrespectful, unprofessional, and an embarrassment to Hinckley. And here is a printed version for the record. That's all I have.
That's not why you opposed. That is not why you opposed the appointment. You opposed the appointment because you said if based on our reasoning for appointing Cindy Engelman, that's what we should use to appoint Bill Spellman. Someone who had not even, someone who had not even applied for the position. And I cannot remember what you said, I said about you at that last meeting. Clearly, it didn't work. We're not going to have peace this year because that's exactly what that was. I did not call you an embarrassment to Hinckley. I said it is embarrassing for Hinckley. That is what I said.
I feel like this is, my comments are read into the record.
Trustee Asherle.
Peace we shall not have.
It's borderline harassment and it's against our code of conduct and our code of ethics in our handbook. I just feel like if you're going to state things publicly.
You're absolutely right.
I
It
want them
feels a little
recorded.
bit like harassment, Melissa.
It
I could
does.
not agree
does.
with you more on this. A little bit like harassment. Not just with me.
Can we please continue on, Mr. Chairman?
Please. Begging you.
But we never really move on. I have already addressed what was on my agenda with Chief Sentner with the public information meeting.
Very good. Lease contract meeting. the union is okay with Monday, the 13th. Are you okay with that? Anytime on the
Yes.
13th? I saw yours, Melissa, on that.
Okay.
You know what? I just looked at that before we came in here.
Do you have a time?
Not yet.
Okay.
Based on the time, the 13th would work for me. That's this coming Monday.
Correct.
The earlier, the better would work for me. So if we
Could-
could do something. Was it
Would you like to
supposed to
do
be?
Tuesday morning? Because she can do Tuesday morning too.
I cannot do Tuesday morning. Tuesday, I can't do Tuesday at all.
Okay, what time are you looking for on Monday?
I mean, if we could do like 8 in the morning. Or like 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Are you okay with either of those, Melissa?
Yes.
And I will check with the council and see if we can do 8 or 4. All right, next one is the annexation petition. Unfortunately, someone has come forward to request annexation of the property at the corner, the southeast corner of 130th and 303. Believe it to be Drug Mart. Just an attorney's name on it at this point, but all indications are that it is them. I had received the commissioner's hearing notice that I gave a copy to each of you for. The Board of Commissioners will have the hearing for the annexation on April 11 at approximately 10:30 a.m., providing that no objections are received between now and then. I contacted Bethany Dentler and asked her to reach out to the petitioners to see if the board agreed to the original request for the CRA. Would that influence their decision on proceeding with the annexation? And she provided that information to them, but there was no immediate response.
So-
She just did that again, because I spoke with her yesterday also. And she had said that she communicated that to them back in, I think, October, when we voted on it, and they said, thank you
No, I
for the
talked with her
information.
yesterday and she called them again and called me back to let me know that she had provided that information.
Okay,
So back on September 20th, I had recommended that if we felt that annexation was the issue, we would strategically match Brunswick's CRA policy, which is 100%. I think that it's my opinion that we should reach out to Drug Mart and offer 100%.
Okay, well,
So that we can
here's the
keep
deal.
one little piece of Hinckley, so they don't take more bites of Hinckley.
We'll finish first. I spoke with Bethany at length and asked her, is there a counter strategy we could use? Maybe increasing or matching Brunswick. And she said, although you could try to do that, there is every indication that that would fail because you would have to ask the school to agree to that abatement. And she said the school's answer is always no. It's historically been no. And when I asked, well, they're already going to be losing the money if they go to Brunswick, the deal there is Brunswick's is already in place. They grant it. They don't have to go to the school to request it. It's a done deal. So our only move is to file an objection and to get the school, which is more critical, get the school to file an objection because they will be financially impacted by this decision. Our objection, they came to us in good faith way back when, and it didn't pass. And so we're in a much weaker position right now to try and negotiate at this point. The county commissioners have to vote on this. And if nobody files an objection, it's the same as a consent, and it just passes without any discussion.
So what's our objection?
Well, if I may, I spoke with the prosecutor for about an hour yesterday. Then I spoke with another attorney today at length. The attorney who I spoke with today was actually a judge in Southern Ohio, who at one time actually ruled with the township with the annexation. So he was a really good resource to talk to. His recommendation was for us to file an objection with a preview. We have to do that within 15 days of the hearing. We have to file that objection within 15 days of April 11th. I think the clock is ticking on this, so it's something that I think we're better off moving forward with sooner rather than later. Personally, I would prefer for us not to talk about our objections right now, because these are public meetings. It's giving Isomer, who owns the property, it's letting them know, our strategy. So what I would recommend doing is we can either use the prosecutor, but there is also that possibility of a conflict of interest, because if we use the prosecutor's office and then they're also advising the county commissioners, we have another option that I talked to Martha about today of retaining a private attorney for the township. And we could meet with them and talk about our objections, what it is that, would be a viable objection to give, and allow them to write it and file that.
I agree with not naming our objections publicly. I spoke with the prosecutor's office and they would be happy to assist us in this. I'm not opposed to outside counsel. What are the costs involved and who is the counsel? And who's used them in the past?
Well, Martha and I talked a little bit about this today, and I would say we could, I could contact George Smeargan and see if he could give us a recommendation. The one who I spoke with today was, the fee is high. It's $500 an hour with a $20,000 retainer.
Yeah.
So,
Or we could just see if Bethany might be wrong and go to them with 100% CRA and see if they would oppose it or be willing to negotiate on it as a first step, and then we can make additional decisions from there.
my concern is timing on this, that we are not
We have
meeting
to
again
file an
until
objection.
we're not meeting again until the 21st, the trustees. So
There is a timeline of outside, according to Ohio Revised Code. So the objection doesn't have to happen right this second.
I agree completely. But if we wait until the 21st and we say, yes, we're going to hire outside counsel, it's going to take now more time to find someone, to bring them in with a time that works with all of our schedules, and then write the objection and get it filed. That is all I am saying. I don't think it would hurt to contact George and see if he had any recommendations for attorneys.
I would appreciate that.
That's fine with me. Hopefully, he has someone that everyone can approve of.
I think it's important that, we are very proactive with that, and that the township sees that we are being very proactive with this. I think something most people would encourage of saying, yeah, fight this.
Well, that's why I said, why don't we approach them and offer them a different option first and then work on fighting at the same time? It's worthwhile to ask them if they would accept 100% so that we can keep Hinckley intact. and maybe save the township some money along the way.
Can't be both. I was gonna say
Well, that's what I'm
can't
saying.
be
We could do one while we're doing the other.
I would think annexation is a complex process, and there's a number of different types of annexation. And that if you want to reach out to the petitioner to negotiate, I do think whether it's the prosecutor's office or a private attorney, it would be better for someone experienced in this to reach out to them.
Agreed, but we need to agree to the terms for that negotiation.
Well, and whoever you know, whatever counsel you choose to work with, would obviously sit down with the board to discuss the process.
And if you give 100%, what's to stop the next guy down the road say, I want to be annexed? I'll get 100%.
Regardless, we're setting precedent, but it's September 20th when I recommended 100%, so we could be strategic and match Brunswick's, so out of fear of annexation.
Well, if
I
you
was
had
told no.
listened the first time when I said, let's grant the 50%, we wouldn't even be sitting here.
They
What was the
came
argument back
They
then?
came back for renegotiation. I told you that I had done additional homework. I had spoken to many other people, and I had come with a different scope of perspective.
When did
We're
they
allowed to
come?
do
When
that.
did
They
they
didn't
come
come
for
back. Bethany came back.
renegotiation?
It's right here. I can give you the outline. We voted on it on June 7th.
You know, folks, I think we
We-
should not go back. I
we-
think we have
It's
to look
okay.
forward.
September 6th, trustee Ashland presented a draft CRA tax abatement example she had prepared with Medina County Economic Development Director Bethany in response to the discount drug mart tax abatement request. So we were working on it specifically for them. At that time, we didn't make a decision. We had further conversation on September 20th.
They were trying to reduce the abatement to them.
That was
Didn't
not,
want to
that
give the
was,
whole thing to Drug Mart.
and that was not Drug Mart coming back to
No, it wasn't.
renegotiate. That was,
But regardless,
That was what we had said.
and
That
100% was
the
not
intent.
ours to grant.
That was the intent.
So I will contact George Smerigan tomorrow.
and you've already started that dialogue with the prosecutor's office.
Mhm.
Do you want to see if they have a recommendation?
Sure.
They told me that they would take care of it.
Right, keep us posted. I have a few motions to make. Motion to increase the purchasing authority for the service department superintendent to, I need a dollar amount there, Martha. This is for the fuel, to cover the fuel expense.
Correct. The, in increase the purchasing authority for service bar superintendent on the Capital One credit card. Is that what you're speaking? Is that based on our conversation?
Yeah, for the
Increase,
emergency
yes,
fuel
the-
purchase, yeah.
Buy fuel. Let's do $3,000.
To $3,000 from December 1 through March 31 annually to allow for the emergency purchase of fuel during winter
Well, that's not
operations.
an annual amount. That would be a monthly limit. The determined
The
month,
monthly purchasing authority.
yeah. Can you explain to folks why we're doing this?
I need to understand.
Okay, we lost the fuel pumps at one point during the winter. They froze up solid. We didn't have fuel, so we need a mechanism to allow emergency purchase of fuel so that the vehicles, the police, fire, and service can continue to operate. Currently, nobody has enough purchasing authority on their car to do it in an emergency without getting us together, and nobody wants to talk to us anyway. So that's what this is for.
So it says annually, but it also says from December 1 to March 31.
So
From-
what happened was, is Mike called me, might have been, I don't think it was Christmas Eve, might have been the day before Christmas Eve. And Mike and Harry, the pumps were frozen. And obviously the roads needed addressed with the ice. And I think Melissa and I are the only two people that have a $5,000 limit on our credit cards. And so that was going to be our next step, was to purchase fuel cards and like a fleet card. It sheets for the safety forces and the service department in order to fuel the vehicles. Now that wouldn't even last so long because these tanks are huge and it's diesel fuel. And they were there, we've got 4 trucks moving. So that's why when we sat down and had the discussion, that this would allow Mike Harry to go out and get the cards himself in the event of that, in an emergency. We don't feel it's going to happen again because the problem was addressed before we had to do that. But as Jack said, during the winter months, when that occurrence happened, we wanted to increase Mike's spending ability on the credit card for that purpose. And I have the ability to do that electronically through the credit card. So that is what this motion is allowing.
So it says annually because it's going to be every year from December 1 to March 31,
Yeah, yeah.
so that we don't have to make it every year.
Okay.
Well, yeah, you can do it that way. I think we get the gist of,
Okay.
we can get the language correct.
Do you have a second?
Second,
Second by Asherle. Augustine,
Yes.
Asherle.
yes.
Sweattick, yes. All right, the I emailed you about the fuel usage and monitoring policy and procedures.
Mhm.
Subsequent to getting that out in the fall, there were a few issues that were in there. One had to do with the old system. You were able to use a key fob to access it. That went away on the new system, so
Mhm.
pulled that out. The other was the reconciliation process, where until the new system was up and functioning, we weren't exactly in sync with how the fueling was occurring, the resupply of the tank and the reconciliation process. So that was clarified in there. I have the updated policy here that I'd like to, do I need a motion to approve this, Martha? A motion
You're
to,
approving the amended.
Yeah, I think we already approved it, so we need to amend it.
pardon?
You're amending the current policy.
A motion to approve the amendments to the Hinckley Township Fuel Inventory and Usage Policy and Procedures document with the updates and the new policy dated February 7, 2023.
So before you guys sign this, Jack, we'll just add a line on this one. We'll reprint the cover page. I guess you could sign the last page, but we'll say amended with an amended date under the policy and procedures.
I will take care of that.
We already have a resolution approval date for that, so we'll just,
Okay, very well.
yeah,
As
you
a-
can, yeah. But you can sign if you want to sign the back page. So this one has, this isn't the final one I have. You have it?
I have the final.
Okay, you can sign the back page and we'll just create a new front page.
We'll do that. Okay, and tied to that, one of the requirements in there is for the trustees to approve the authorized users. I had Sergeant Stroll, who is the administrator for the system, provide me with a list of the authorized users. I sent that to each of the department heads. They all verified that the list is current. And we will do this just about monthly. I'd like to make a motion to approve the Hinckley Township fuel user list used to authorize access to township fuel pumps for the fueling of township equipment dated February 3rd, 2023.
Second.
Seconded by, who was that?
Augustine.
Augustine. All in favor?
Aye.
Hi. Is the new guy on that already too?
Yes. And with that, we will move on to little presents. Martha gave you a motion to approve resolution 020723-02, which approves the amended official certificate of estimated resources, amendment number 1, dated January 1, 2023, in the amount of $10,244,015.32.
Second.
Seconded by Asherle. Augustine,
Yes.
Asherle,
Yes.
Sweattick, yes.
Thank you for your work on that, Martha.
We still have to do the minutes.
A motion to approve resolution number 020723-03,
Yep.
which approves the 2023 permanent appropriations in the amount of $8,286,050 effective February 7, 2023.
Does anybody have any questions on what was submitted last week?
No,
I do.
No.
thank you.
Second.
Seconded by Asherle. Augustine,
Yes.
Asherle,
Yes.
Sweattick, yes.
Thank you. Current fund status is $6,236,834.31, of which $1,086,426.36 are in pooled investments. $5,150,407.95 are in primary checking. At this point, we've received 2 advances out of likely 5 advances for the first half. Real estate taxes. And then there's the payment listing, but you'll notice on the back page of the payment listing, I've added the lighthouse purchase that the board approved the last meeting. I'm going to put the permanents into the system this evening. Now that you've approved them, then I will be able to pay this bill dated today. And it'll be in my box for signing. I also had to pay the property taxes, and that's, I did not have enough money appropriated from the temporary appropriations in that line to pay all the things I had to pay out of other expenses.
I don't think any of us had enough money to pay our property
Yeah,
taxes.
so there were just some unexpected other expenses over this 5 weeks. So, but this bill will get paid today. So use that number, the $149,008.12 for the payment listing.
All right, I think we go motion to pay the bills in the amount of $149,008.12.
Second.
Seconded by
Augustine.
Augustine. Augustine,
Yes.
Asherle.
Yes.
Sweattick, yes. Oh, good, Martha.
Yep. that's
Anything
it.
from the public?
Could you make it clear who owns the property in the corner of Western 30th, southeast corner of Western 30th and Wheel 3? Who is the legal owner?
Isomer.
Can you spell it?
Yep. I printed it all up today. ISOMER Group Inc.
Thank you.
Yes.
The show data transfer.
Yes, the 30th of December.
Of last year.
Yes.
Yes. And there's, I think, like four parcels.
They consolidated them all.
Anything else, Mr. Pearl?
Nope.
Okay, anybody
I
else?
do-
I have one quick thing. Buzzer Day is Sunday, March 19th, so mark your calendars.
With nothing else for the good of the order, I make a motion to adjourn at 8:02.
Second.
Seconded by Asherle, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.
I have a stat